Hey everybody, it's Steve here. Man, I got my fishing hat on. Yeah, let me change my fishing hat. I know I've had that hat for like 6 years, and I go fishing in it every time. It's supposed to bring me luck, but uh, I ain't having too much good luck on the lake here lately. Plus, it's but cold in Texas. It is but cold. It's going to get colder, so you guys prepare. I got firewood in just in case. Um, I think there was a report this morning that came out in Angelina County that we have like 843 people right now without power. That number's expected to go up um, because we got high winds and plus freezing temperatures, which means that we have uh, we have a lot of woods around here, and limbs will get heavy and they will break. So we're preparing for that. I think Lufkin is aware that this is going on and that we are actually preparing the best we can. And then also, the state of Texas is actually stepping up. So that's our weather update. Here's to the breaking news, man. On TikTok last week, it was reported, or a post was put out on TikTok that said that Lufkin, Texas, was one in the top five of the dumbest cities in Texas. It's got rip roaring freaking results. People were defending Lufkin as a great place to eat. Yeah, basically, that's what it's a good place to eat. There's good places to eat there. So I kind of looked at it and I was like, you know what? Okay, let's just go through where they got this information or where they actually made their decision, and I can kind of agree with the statement. Um, there are good things in Lufkin. Um, there are good things to eat, good places to eat. We got the lake right here. Um, we're really close to Houston, about 3 hours from Houston. We're about maybe 5 hours from Dallas, so we're in between. But here we go, and let's break it down like a shotgun. Let's see where they were getting this idea. Okay, in the last 4 years, and I may be off a little bit on years, whatever, but in the last 4 years, let's just rattle off what's the top there. What is the top of our list here? Number one is that we've had a commissioner. We had one commissioner who had to resign because he was arrested for domestic violence. Now, this preferenced his sentencing because the fact is he was still under investigation for misappropriation of funds from the county. Apparently, this commissioner decided it was a good idea to use county funds to actually buy surveillance equipment for his wife and his stepdaughter. Use of power, maybe. So, but he got arrested for domestic violence, went to jail. So he's still serving a 4 year sentence. Nobody's heard from him. It's another thing, and nobody says anything about anything around here. Our newspapers are they are all flowers and the good things that happen in life. They never actually do any investigative reporting. That's another thing. I just throw that out there. Second of all, we've had a county judge who was removed for violating the Freedom of Information Act, and it was a misdemeanor, but they removed him from office. We also have a commissioner who can't add, it doesn't seem. Terry Pitts seems to have a problem with addition and preparing proper reports to tell us how much money he's making, or how much money he's making, but how much money he's spending on actual roads. Now let's not get behind on this. Let's go ahead and look at what our biggest issue here is roads. Every county you go to in Texas, roads are an issue. However, the fact is that these individuals have come to the way they have improved their road system is the fact is they have an engineer. Okay, an engineer not only just goes in and says we're just going to fix this. He says this is a 5 year plan. This is how we're going to continue to make our roads better. Right now, because of neglect, 20 years will take the taxpayers to fix the roads that have been neglected in the past. So this has been going on for 20 years. We're not even going to say how bad the roads were before, but it's going to take us 20 years. So I'm asking, maybe I'm dumbass, but I'm asking, where the hell did money go? All the money you said you're spending on roads, you're not spending on roads. Where does it go? So with that in mind, we had a scathing report that came out that said that, you know what, that only 80% of our roads are poor to very, that we didn't have any outstanding roads, not very good. 80% of our roads are either untravelable or dangerous to travel on, and they do wear and tear damage to the vehicles. Not to mention the fact is that our buses, our schools rely on these roads to get kids from point A to point B. You think that your kids could ride to school, but no, not in Lufkin, not in Angelina County. You gotta really gotta bump on. Luckily, you want to get that seat with the middle, you know, where the hump is over the tire, so that way you don't have to. This explains why most parents decide to pick their kids up from school. Because the fact is that they don't want them traveling on these roads, and they don't want them to be in danger when they're traveling on the roads. Makes sense to me. Another thing that we have here, that we have that goes on, is the fact is that they don't want to have trash trucks pick up twice a week, because the fact is the damage it'll do to the roads. Okay, well, now we're coming down to that. Now we're coming down. When is it going to be when the mailman can't get down the roads to get your mail? Is that coming? I don't know. And Angelina County, our government has decided that, you know what, here's the best way I can explain it to you. When you actually go and ask for an explanation or ask a question to anybody, an elected official or a appointed official or somebody that serves in our government, ask them a simple question. Now we play hot potato. Well, it's not me. It's not me. It's not me. It's me. And nobody's willing to take accountability for the decisions made or decisions they make. Play hot potato. So they play hot potato to where the people are forced to actually put in a freedom of information request because they want to know what the hell's going on, how you spending my money, what the hell's being done about it, blah, blah, blah. Here's what happens. You send your freedom information request over a portal. You can't just directly send it to them. You got to go over a portal so they can weed out which requests that they actually want to respond to. Put in places so you can review all the information so you can make an educated decision. Okay, they'll give you 2. Then the other 3 they'll send off to a attorney general opinion. Attorney general's opinion goes 30 to 45 days. I'm not bragging on the attorney general's office. They shouldn't even be having to review the opinions in the first place. What does that play? What are we playing now? Hot potato. So in other words, I don't have to make decisions. I can pass it off to somebody else. They just make the decisions, or they just do and they waste time or whatever. And guess what? It goes away. And the reason why it goes away is not because of the lack of the citizens' inquiry or wanting to know. It's because the fact is that they wait you out. They keep providing just limited information, and everybody says it's not. Well, we don't know. We don't know. That is the dumbest thing. That is the dumbest thing in the world, because if you're in a position, you take accountability. And I know that every person in our government has had to take a class on the Freedom of Information Act. It's required if they haven't, which borderline, we're saying if you read the Freedom of Information Act, you actually know you're responsible for that. So in other words, information you should be receiving in 10 to 15 days. It's now waiting on a Attorney General to 30 to 45 days for them, hoping that you actually forget about it. And I say, well, yeah, when people busy, you got to go to work. You got to work. And they know. And they also play on the apathy of Angelina County, because the fact is that people just don't vote. So the prefaces of being a dumb county comes to also into play because allow this to happen. So whether you want the government's dumb, or you want to say the police, or you want to say that the people are dumb, well, it appears both ways because the fact is that nothing gets done. And in the real world, people will say, well, vote them out. It's very difficult to do whenever you have an elite system that actually appoints the people that they want to run and support the people that will do them favors. Now, the old adage that we used to run by is, you know what, follow the money. That was the best way that you could actually trace money and find out, where the money was spent, blah, blah, blah. But they take it to a different level. They know we follow the money. So now guess what? They deal in what they call favors. It's basically this, you fix my road, I'll vote for you. I'll get out on this road. Screw everybody else, but you can fix my road. This is how it goes. This is why we have haphazard roads being fixed, because the fact is every election period we get another set of roads going to be fixed to gain popular vote. It's called doing favors. The next thing is guess what? We have had multiple reports I have seen, or Delfino will actually report on it. I've had people up at the commissioner's court have actually complained about it, and there seems to be an issue where the county can't provide records of the roadways that they actually say that are theirs. Person comes along and purchases a home. The title report actually goes through and shows you what's the last recorded, who had it last. Where are the parameters of your property? Where are the parameters in your loan papers that'll say this is your? I'll give you a plot map. You look at it. Okay, that's it. But now the county comes around and changes it because the fact is, well, we need to have access to that road. So we're going to just say, well, the funniest thing I've heard was, this guy gave that road to a commissioner. Said he gave it to a commissioner. Of course, we have some kind of record of that, right? Of course, we don't want to record that. Hell, even in the 1800s, when you came over and you claimed a piece of land, they actually stated it out that you signed for this. They signed for this land, and they just described this land. They even kept records. All of a sudden, county don't keep records, or maybe they just actually don't want to produce those records. And then you know what? Play hot potato again. They still utilize roads on private property. This is not new. We go through this everywhere at Angelina County, whether it be a business or whether it be whatever. This is the kind of politics that you have to play. I laughed the other day. I was going to I won't say the name of the grocery store, but it was not a grocery store. It was a little convenience store, a little gas pump. I had gas pumps or whatever. Anyway, well, hell, it's the Valero station up here. Valero station up here. Went by there, get my glass of iced teas or my glass of teas and Arizona tea. And I was walking up. I looked. They had put the city of Huntington had put a compliance letter up to the city of Vallejo, or to the Vallejo establishment there, telling them how they need to cut their grass and how they needed to actually have their grass cut to be presentable to people that are traveling on Highway 69. I mean, I was like, well, that's bullshit. What you tell somebody to cut the grass? People know how to cut the grass. But anyway, so that's bullshit. Then I go down and go through the red light. I'm headed north on 69. And then guess what? I go across the county, our lodge building, where our Freemasons hang out. There's grass growing up higher and whatever. They didn't get no notice. Now, as you guys know, I quit drinking a long time ago. Well, not a long time ago, but my back seems a PTSD, my medication, and drinking don't get along very well. So the fact is, I had But now, if I was back and I'm out drinking days, I'm gonna tell you what I would do. I'd probably taken that sign and put it on the Mason's Lodge, telling them how to cut their damn grass. So it's just a number of things that add up that make us dumb people, or make us appear dumb. 90% of the people here in Angelina County are not dumb. I mean, we appear dumb because the fact is that we are being withheld information to make us smarter and to make educated decisions. All the information that we need to actually how our government is running is being hot potato. Now let's go into our justice system. In our justice system here in Angelina County, well, you'll get arrested for a crime. You haven't even been found guilty. You haven't even actually been in front of the grand jury, but they'll jail you up to 2 years before you'll even have a hearing. We have sexual predators, child molesters who have been sitting in jail for 5 years. Well, kind of like, well, we got them detained or whatever. Well, okay, but what about their rights? And not only that, even if you want to take away their rights, what about the individual, let's say a youngster or the person that this act was committed on? Shouldn't they deserve some kind of justice? Shouldn't they deserve some kind of answers? I would think yes. That is the whole process of getting a speedy trial, not only to get the individual who was actually committed or accused of committing these crimes, but also for a sense of justice throughout the county. We're on top of it. We have a judicial system that's working. If you have to wait up to 2 years for a trial, there's something wrong. But what does the county do about it? Well, you know what? They just took out a $16 million loan to add to the extension of our jail. So we're going to jail more people. But here's the caveat. Somewhere in their brain housing group, they had a guy get up there and stand up and say, you know what? I can guarantee that the cost will be replenished because of the outside prisoners we're going to take in from other counties. How does that come into play? Well, if you go to jail for some reason or whatever, or there's a person in jail now, the county gets $35 a day reimbursed by the government. They get $35 a day. But if you bust in other individuals from other counties, guess what? They pay you $75 a day. And there's no tracking of that money. It goes directly into the general fund. And we come to the point here. There's another dumb thing that just comes to my mind. The fact is, I have a treasurer who gets up in front of the commissioners meeting on her monthly reports, and a simple question was asked. Well, we had $16 million in here. $16 million in here. Now we got 12. Where'd the money go? Do you want to know what the answer was? Well, we spent a lot of money. Okay, still didn't answer my question. Finally get it done. Well, I don't know. It's the accounting system. I just plug in the numbers. I don't know. It's the dumbest thing I've ever freaking heard of. You got a county treasurer, don't even know how much money, don't even have, and she's spending money left and right out of our general fund that's not authorized by the commissioners. How many times? I invested this much in this CD. I invested this much in this CD. I took this money out. I put this money over. I put this money out. I don't get it. Shouldn't there be some kind of oversight on our treasury, on our treasurer, on where you're spending the money, what we're authorizing you to do? A set plan, like, when our CD matures, we're going to invest in this. Not just all willy-nilly. Well, I invested over here, and I felt like, what's next? Well, I think Bitcoin's good. We're going to dump money in Bitcoin. It'll work because nobody pays attention to the commissioners' meetings. Well, that sounds like a good idea. Okay, they know what they're doing. No, they don't. They're making this shit up as they go. So, how do you control a county? Well, first of all, you actually take away the information provided to the individuals. You don't tell them everything. You ask them a question, and you don't answer their question. Or you ask a question, they answer you with another question. It's just, no one's held accountable. We have a DA that has been petition to be removed from office. Now, she's not resigning anymore. She's not going to run anymore. We have a commissioner, Commissioner Pitts, who got all this money that he can't account for. Well, he's not going to run anymore. And then, to our DA, Commissioner, and then now our county attorney is not going to run. Why would they just not decide to run? Well, because people are starting to demand answers from these individuals. And they found out an avenue to do it. Started asking questions. Started saying, hey, what about this? And what about this? Just like any republic should do. And I say republic because we're not supposed to be a democracy. Somehow republic and democracy has interchanged over the years. But now I digress. Reason why is these individuals not running again? Well, here's one good reason why they're not. Because if they don't resign and then their crimes are found out 3, 4 years or 5 years later, it may pass the statute of limitations and they're not charged with it. Or the court will look down on, well, they did this, but you know what? They're civilian now, so they can't do any more harm, so we're just going to let them go with that. Maybe a fine or something like that. They're no longer in office, so you know what? Hey, what difference does it make? It's in the past. Well, here's the problem with that. We take, Angelina County, we take this as verbatim. Well, this is the way we've always done things. You see where I'm going with this? This is the way we've always done things. What if it's wrong? And you just keep doing the same thing over and over and over again, expecting different results? Everybody knows that's insanity. It's the definition of insanity. You keep doing the same things over and over and over again, still getting bullshit results. Duh. This whole road system could have been fixed a long time ago, because the fact is that they would have been an educated plan to put in place to actually maintain the service of our roads. It would have been clockwork. Every year we're doing this for maintenance. Every year we got to get a project, we'll go for maintenance or whatever. No, it wasn't done, because when I had your commissioners robbing Peter to pay Paul to get their votes so I can get in. Now, the people have come through and said, we want a unit road system. We want a way to pick, and we want us to be a way we are informed of what actual projects are coming up. We want to have a say-so in government. So we put in writing, we want a engineer. We want a trained engineer in that position making the decisions. We didn't get that, did we? We got an administrator, somebody who's been 15 years experience. Is that supposed to mean anything? That means he's been doing the same thing for 15 years over again. He ain't solved the problem yet. So I don't want him back over there. I don't want him doing that anymore. I want an engineer to actually start and planning how we're going to build up roads better in the quickest way possible. But now, every road, and we'll get into this in a minute, but every road that's actually authorized, or the county administrator authorizes to be built or be repaired, it is against the law. They'll find that out in their any lawsuits that are going to be filed, because the fact is that you're actually authorizing or not authorizing my right to have my roads fixed. And a decision is coming from an administrator, not an engineer. That's a little piece of tidbit or piece of puzzle they don't really realize. So lawsuits keep mounting. The first of the year, or not the first this year, but during the middle of last year, I asked for, and it was also asked for by other individuals. I believe the county watchdogs, Angelina County watchdogs, they asked this question too: how many pending lawsuits do we have? I mean, if you're going to balance a budget, you need to take consideration that you got so many millions of dollars that may go back, that we owe this money out of lawsuits. I couldn't tell you. I'm not talking just lawsuits for criminal activity. I'm talking about lawsuits for civil liability as well. Because civilly, that's the only road that you have. Because you can't get these guys criminally because the fact is our court system will not let you. So your only recourse is to actually sue them civilly and in court. Now I am in process of following a civil case myself because I wanted to see how difficult it was to file one, what all the steps you have to go through. I'm going to tell you, the county will throw everything at you. They will bury you in paper, telling you got to do this, telling you got to do that, or whatever. It's all bullshit. They just run around circles, hot potato again. But when you get to the district court, that's where you file your paperwork. You take everything you can. You take the county and put it over the side and say, I know they're going to give me bullshit. I'm going to file my motion in the district court where at least I got a fair shot. And this is what's starting to happen. Our lawsuits that are being filed now are being filed in district court. We're bypassing the system of good old boy network. And these lawsuits, trust me, whenever they're filed, okay, you see the paper. You don't see how the paper trail, how paper goes up to the magistrate and also to the judge. You can't really track that or whatever. But here's the thing about it is, so there's a lawsuit filed. You can bet your bippy that the damn people that actually involved in that lawsuit are on their phones talking about how they going to get out of it, how they going to get around it, how they going instead of providing proof that we didn't do it. Because there's too many items there that they've had to actually pay for, and the public doesn't know anything about it. They have won a lawsuit. In other words, they have settled out of court. Now, here's the thing about settling out of court. Those who settle out of court, that's your business. I'm not promoting you do whatever, but for those individuals who actually do file and actually do get a settlement from the county, here's what happens. You take that money, and you're like, okay, it's the best I can, at least I have them accountable. Then you take that money and whatever, before you walk away with that check, before you walk away for an agreement to pay, you've signed what they call a non-disclosure agreement, which means NSDA means that you can't talk about your case. You can't talk about anything that was brought up in your case. You can't even legally say how much money was awarded to you. That's supposed to come from them, that they settled. They're supposed to make an announcement. Yeah, we settled out of court on this. Yeah, non-disclosure comes out. So you really don't know at the end of the day how much money that we pulled out for settlements. Now, people say, well, don't find a non-disclosure agreement. Well, there you go. Then it's the bargaining tool because we're not going to offer. We're taking away this offer if you don't sign a non-disclosure agreement. So that's up to people. I mean, whatever you want to do or whatever. But I'll guarantee you that there is a stack of civil lawsuits that are stacking up and are actually waiting for their court dates in the district courts. Individuals are properly being served in multiple cases. So in other words, if they don't have to answer to the people, guess what? They're going to have to answer to the judge. And this is where it should be, because this is what it's come down to in Lufkin or in Angelina County. And this is my go-to because maybe the people are tired of being called dumb, illiterate, apathetic, and all these things. Maybe people are waking up. This is our recourse on how we actually hold them accountable. There is no accountability in Angelina County. There is none. Like I said, hot potato. So, I'll tell you a story. Me and a friend of mine went down to serve our county attorney. He is supposedly handles all legal affairs in Angelina County. So we went down there, and he says, "Well, I'm not involved in these cases." these cases I'm not involved in. And the question came up, it's like, well, you're the county attorney. Don't you represent Angelina County? He goes, oh, no, no, no. They contract that out somewhere else. Down some law firm in Houston. He don't even know who the hell it is, but he won't even. He don't want you. He don't want to tell you who it is. But the fact of the matter is that he sat there and freaking lied. He doesn't handle legal affairs in Angelina County. That's a good piece of information for us to have, don't you think? So what does he do? All he does is sign off on letters, sending decisions to the Attorney General. And my last of my pet peeves, and we redeemed. There's many more, but there's another pet peeve that I'm currently noticing. Have you ever noticed in the commissioners meeting? You can go to Lufkin County, I'm sorry, Angelina County website, and the commissioners meeting. They're actually recorded, and you can actually watch it. Maybe happen on Tuesday, but you can watch it on whenever you want to at your earliest convenience. But if you ever notice one thing, is that when an issue comes up in front of the commissioners, here's motion for a second. I'll second. Okay, second. All opposed. I'll say aye in unison. Aye. It's like we're actually church choir. Aye. Nobody actually questions. Nobody objects. Nobody does. It seems like maybe they discussed this before they came into the room, which is another violation of the Freedom of Information Act. And for those who don't know, any conversation or anything that goes on when there is a forum present of commissioners, 3 or more, then that is a meeting, and it has to be recorded. We had a revolt of our commissioners whenever they actually want to say, well, we're going to record our meetings. We're going to record our meetings and the discussions that we have on the table and put everybody on record on what commissioners got up and walked out. We're not doing it. We're not doing it. Pitched a fit because they didn't want information getting back to their constituents on how they felt or how they were going to vote on a certain item. And we don't know how many deals are made on the table deals. Okay, you vote yes on this one, and you vote yes on this one. I won't give you no problem on this, but I'll give you a cut of the money I make off that road. The imagination can go wild. And this is where we're at in Angelina County. This is why you have individuals who don't want to run for anything in Angelina County, because the fact is that they got to play the game. And if they play the game, then guess what? They're going to be the first one to get their finger pointed. Got a hot potato. Who cares a potato? So, are we the dumbest in Texas? I don't know. I don't think so. Are we dumb? Yeah. And we're dumb for 2 reasons. Number one, because the fact is we've let this go on too long, and it's starting to show because all of these things that we've done in the past are starting to haunt us. Our infrastructure, our lack of businesses stay open for more than 2 years, our investment back into our cities. Case in point, Nacogdoches County, which is right up the street. They're not in Angelina County, right up the street. They actually have they have meetings on how to revitalize downtown. They have meetings on how to make or how to attract businesses. They have meetings, and they have a strategy. Our only strategy that we could see from commissioners' meetings is how fast they can get the hell out of here without any questions being asked. And they're supposed to be answering to the people, but they won't even answer a question. That is our problem. Because we have developed that over a period of time that everybody has deemed it into their head that this is the right way. We just keep doing it this way, and this is the right way. And as we've seen, we're not progressing. We're actually getting worse. And there's other areas that we're going to actually get worse in as well. Last thing, we continually have deaths in our jail. Here's a caveat. When asked about a lady that passed away. She died of pneumonia in the jail. When asked, our current sheriff said, well, she died in the hospital. She didn't die in jail. Okay. Talk to me like I'm a 3-year-old. Explain to me how a person can develop and have pneumonia inside a jail. They don't get proper medical treatment. They're not diagnosed. We have people we pay to go in and monitor their health. So who in the hell? Who in the hell decided, well, pneumonia is not a big deal? And it took this individual to get so sick that they didn't even survive in the hospital. But it's not our fault because the fact is they died in the hospital. Bullshit. You were sitting there in the conditions that they were actually suffering in, and you didn't pay no attention to them. There's multiple problems, and there's multiple information that's being withheld from what happens in that jail cell, in that jailhouse. And I have a problem until those questions are answered. And I have a problem with you sending $60 million, borrowed it from a bank to where you're going to put it for more jail cells, knowing that you can't operate this one you currently have the same way. And why in the hell couldn't we take out $60 million loan instead of for our jail, take it for our roads first? Good question, isn't it? Well, I've been on here long enough anyway. I just need to get that said. Hey, you guys should share it if you like it. If you don't like it, please still share it because the fact that somebody in Angelina County may pay attention to it or maybe happening to somebody else or whatever. And that's pretty much what has to happen. Is the fact is you have to have a group of people that actually hear other people's issues. And when you do, you start to all make sense. Because right now, people are actually having issues with their county government or Angelina County. You're by yourself. You're by yourself. It's only one voice. They can squash your voice. They can give you a run around the whole 9 yards. But when other people start to know how these people are being treated, they may know something. Hey, that shit happened to me. Hey, you know what? That's happening to me over here too. This is what they told me over here. And you start comparing notes. That is a Democrat. That is part of our duty to question our government. We can get a louder voice if more people actually speak up. But why is that? Because the fact is that individuals are currently in a bind because if they speak up, they are worried about the repercussions from the county. And for all those individuals who work for the county, it's a cushy job. It's a pretty cushy job. I mean, you got to do your work. I'm not saying anybody there don't do their work. But anyway, you got good benefits. You got a retirement plan. You got an IRA or whatever the hell you got or whatever. But it's a good job for being here. You're close to home. It's a good job. But I think these people should realize that with this corruption going on, if you know about it, if you participate in it, or if you turn a blind eye to it, you're just as guilty as the person committing the crime. Now, where does that come into play? Well, you may get out of Angelina County. But the fact is that you will be suspect and you will be part of an investigation. I think that the Lufkin secretary, by refusing to send Freedom of Information Act, I think she got served last week and will get served again this week. So if you cannot get answers from your government, there are ways to do it, and it's sticking together. Comparing notes, hey, I did this, I did that, whatever. It's not legal advice. It's just saying, hey, they did that to me. This is what I did. This is what I did, But you will only get out of it what you put into it. The fact of the matter is, if you just squawk and just crank whatever and then show up, but whatever, it's not going to do it because these people have been doing this kind of crap forever and ever and ever, or over and over and over and over again. Believe me, they know the ins and outs of it, so they're actually believing that you will not accomplish what you set out to do. It takes a tribe. It takes a group of people who actually make up their mind that they need to actually oversee their government. They need to have supply some kind of oversight, and the best oversight is you and me talking about the situation and understanding each other's situation and seeing how we're all in the same pot on this. It's not just happening to you, it's happening to all of us. And not only do we need to start asking questions, we need to start going above their head. Start writing directly to the Attorney General's office. Go directly to the street. Take it out of Angelina County. You have I didn't mention this before, but you have a attorney who's been practicing here for I don't know how long. He was mentioned in the video. Now he's not practicing law anymore. But you see how all these people, just the little bit of effort that we've been putting in by asking questions, how many people just drop like flies? I should be your first clue. So anyway, you guys like this or don't like it, like it. I don't know. I'm not here for to make a lot of friends. I'm just telling you exactly what's going on in Angelina County and from my perspective. And it does not. I do research on stuff. I actually see where things are heading, and also I listen to other people's stories and what's happening to them to make sense of how it fits into the big picture. When I do that, then I find all these discrepancies, and they start to make sense after a while. If more people would do that, then they would have questions too, and those questions should be directed to the individuals who are personally involved in making those decisions, and those people are actually implementing illegal laws and anyway, committing crimes against the people.